one.
Hey, that was you. Welcome to Bull Session, the podcast. Once again, I am Buck Russell.
And I am Marcus Cross.
And he is sitting across from me. Nice to see you, my friend. It's been 2 weeks. You know, life been treating you well? Good Thanksgiving?
It's been all right. Pretty good Thanksgiving. I had to work.
Yeah, I didn't. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. How are you?
Did you eat enough food and everything?
Yeah, we had a lot of good food. It was really
Good. I hope everybody in Radio Land had a good Thanksgiving. A lot of things to be thankful for.
No.
No. MAGA. Fake
Hashtag
news.
MAGA. Hashtag MAWA.
MAWA. Oh, we have so much to talk about today. We
A lot
have
of pussy grabbing.
Yeah, a lot of pussy grabbing and groping and, you know, and
Groping and grabbing
and,
yeah.
and squeezing
And squeezing and assaulting and harassing.
and showing.
I'm wondering
that you
who's
care.
next.
I don't know,
But it's becoming like everybody.
now there was a time where there was a bunch of Republicans, and then it was like Democrats, and then Republicans again. Well, now it's in the Democrat camp, so it's gonna the needle's gonna turn back to the Republicans before too long. But that'll be interesting to.
That won't happen.
That'll be interesting to talk about. The box office in the middle of the program, and at the end, as we stated last time we talked, we'll be talking a little Husker news and some sports.
Yes.
And we've got huge things. Everybody's heard about it by now, but I don't want to spoil it for everyone if you haven't yet. And if you're not in the internet age, then you've probably already heard about it anyways. But we should begin. I think we'll talk about the GOP tax plan and what a fucking shit show this is going to be. This is the article I'm going to read you is about a week old, but it literally says what it needs to say. And this is, of course, from our favorite place, NPR.com. Brian Naylor writes this, and he says, quote, "The House has nearly approved a $1.5 trillion tax overhaul, clearing the first major hurdle in the Republican attempts to cut taxes and rewrite the tax code. The vote was almost along party lines, with no Democrats voting in support of the bill and some GOP defections over provisions in the measure that would eliminate important tax deductions taken by constituents in some high-tax states. It has been 31 years since we last did this, and finally time that we get the general interest of this country to prevail over the special interest in Washington," House Speaker Paul Ryan said.
I love him.
Yeah, he's such an ass. Said on the House floor, pledging that the bill would lead to faster economic growth and bigger paychecks for American workers. As we've already seen and discussed on this program, that is not true. It tends to eliminate the estate tax, which will help about the top 2% of the country, and will literally done anything. There was actually something.
Where are you getting this from?
From here, there was actually.
I listened to Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah, no, you don't.
She claimed differently.
No, you don't.
It was not going to help
no, you
the higher up.
No, you don't. Wow, I'm really peaking pretty good on that. One thing too is that what?
I'm not connected, and I can't get connected. Awesome. My computer's a piece of shit. But anyway,
hang on.
What were you saying about the tax plan?
Pause. Okay, sorry about that. A little technical problem we had to rectify.
Erectionify.
Here's the one thing too is that when we're talking about this tax plan, is if you, I know you're not on Facebook, Marcus. Those of you that are, if you go to,
What is that supposed to mean, Buck?
nothing. It's just that you're not on Facebook and you're a smarter man than I am.
I asked you a question.
There was someone who sent Bernie Sanders like the math. Yeah, this it was like a college kid that did the math. Like now, like after doing paying for college expenses and everything, they had X amount of disposable income they could use after the fact.
Okay.
And nothing had really changed. But under the GOP tax plan, the person showed that math and that the ending considerably reduced their disposable income from I think it was some $25,000 down to like $6,000. I mean, it was a huge hit. The only person in everything I have read on this seems that it's more for the rich.
Well, it is.
And they're saying it's going to help. Once again, the Republicans are trying to sit there and try to sell the American people on trickle-down economics, which does not exist.
The reason why they were talking, the reason kind of why they're talking about, oh, no, this isn't for the rich. This is more for the middle class, and it's going to actually help people that are making like $20,000 a year, whatever. The reason why they're trying to sell it that way is because actually the first few years, supposedly, it will help that for a little bit. And then it's going to go right to the top. And then it's going to fuck everybody who's making
they want to eliminate
30,
the estate tax.
Because like at first it actually is going to help a little for like in the people of the group of maybe 40 to 30 to $25,000 a year, whatever. But it's not the thing. What they were showing is when you get to like year 5 or some shit under this or 4, it's gonna like cripple the fucking middle class, and it's gonna all go right up. It's like slowly.
It reduces the corporate
going
tax
up to
rate.
the top is basically what it's doing.
Reduces
it's just doing
the tax
it over
rate from 35% to 20%.
something.
Winning support from outside groups, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the National Federation of Independent Business. But its effect on individuals is less dramatic. Now, it may help businesses. It really might. But it's not helping the normal people. It reduces from 7 to 4 the number of tax brackets, doubles the standard deduction, which I believe right now is in the $5,000 or $6,000 range. So it doubles that deduction already, which is good.
Right.
But eliminates other deductions and credits. The Senate is considering its own tax overhaul, and that is kind of in limbo right now. The Senate one is almost as bad or worse than the House.
Right.
The House has passed. That we cannot deny. It needs to pass the Senate, and then they have to work out the details before it becomes law.
Yeah.
The Senate is literally in limbo right now because the Republicans only have, I believe, a 6-seat margin. I believe it's, 56-44?
I think
margin.
So, yeah.
It's extremely slim.
It's very close.
54. It's 52-54, and they can only afford a few defections. Now, there have already been some people who are jumping ship on this, and it is but literally the GOP, President Trump, any Republican is trying to get a win in his first year.
Right.
He has not had a win in his first year. Every executive order on immigration or travel has been shot down by a court. Every Obamacare repeal he has tried has been shot down and stopped.
And how many times? I wish we could go back and just tally up the entire time. All the times that they've done this since like 2010 when it actually passed. They have tried to repeal that fucking bill. It was like 40 times before Obama even got reelected in 2012.
It's been, I believe it's been considerable more, but even back then, the Democrats were still in power.
I know.
The Democrats still held the majority, so the Republicans didn't try, and the Democrats are going to vote it down. Now the Democrats' work, I believe, is more resilient,
right?
Because they have that majority. They're not in power in House or Senate. They have a closer thing in Senate. And think about it. Next year is another election year.
Yeah.
We're going to see a few things. There's going to be some big seats up for it. Number one being Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan is up for re-election.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if the smirky little bastard is going to make it, but I know that he's going to be challenged.
He's not a smirky little bastard.
And then there are going to be other ones that are going to jump ship on this. So once again, if you have any questions, complaints, regrets, please email us at bullsession@kmsimedia.com. That's our email. Nobody has emailed us yet, unfortunately. So email us and tell us what you're thinking.
It's the holidays. That's why.
And before I get to the sexual harassment stuff.
I want to talk sexual harassment now.
No, we're going to talk about something else, and something that literally,
because I've been hankering for some harassment.
I know you have, and because you're a harasser yourself. That's all you did before we went on the air this morning to me. But this one,
hey, my accusers have not come forward. I've paid them off. I mean, they haven't come
here's
forward.
the one thing: when you go, let's.
I shouldn't
I've got a great
this,
idea.
but-
After the show, we're gonna book a trip, and we're gonna go somewhere. and We're gonna shoplift. I think that's a great idea. As you all know,
hey, don't do it in China.
As you all know,
It's a serious offense.
yes. As you all know, that UCLA players, LeAngelo Ball, Jalen Hill,
I'm
and
so
Cody
glad you went to
Riley.
this story before the sexual harassment because I'd honestly rather talk about this before the sexual harassment.
They went over to China and they decided to shoplift. Over to China. But here's the one thing is that now that these guys have been back, and you have to admit, probably President Trump probably did have a hand in getting them home, so let's appreciate that he did.
Anybody did. I mean, any president.
They were detained
any
accused of shoplifting, and they were sent home.
Wants him to suck.
Hang on, let me finish before you start going off on a tangent, because I know what's coming. Oh, by the way, this episode is fueled by alcohol.
This episode is fueled by beer. Delicious frosty beer.
But you have, these three idiots who have great careers. LiAngelo Ball, literally is the son of LeVar Ball. Right. He's got a brother who's in the NBA. Lonzo Ball.
LeVar Ball's the one that pissed off Trump.
Well, here's the funny thing is that.
But why the fuck do you guys do this? Though?
Why did you do this?
Exactly.
Why? So then they do this.
Stupid as shit.
Right. Do they need to apologize? Yes, they need to apologize to the Chinese government, which is they're in. If they did, I'm kind of unsure if they did. I'm assuming they did, and they meant it with sincerity. Mm-hmm. So then, this drives me crazy. Is they got him home, and instead of apparently kissing his orange ass, they've decided. Trump is like, oh, they're ungrateful and they don't know what they're talking about.
Well,
and
he got mad because the father,
LeVar Ball,
right?
Who, if you watch Saturday Night Live, freaking, what's his name? Kenan Thompson does a great impression of him. Granted, he looks like his Steve Harvey character, but it's.
Yeah, because LeVar Ball, I don't think he's not overweight or anything. I think he's pretty skinny.
No, he's tall, he's bald.
Yeah,
I've seen everything like that. But
but having Kenan Thompson do it is kind of funny because he's kind of short. And chubby.
He's short and chubby. So, but he did something. They did something on the new, the Weekend Update segment the other day, and it makes it funny because you just don't. You don't see that, but
these guys just have
LeVar Ball is literally
amounts of material for the for Saturday Night Live. All of this, they have so much material. It just never. They got to be loving this year. They're going to win more Emmys. The rest of us are not loving this year. These guys are.
But why? But seriously, why? LeVar Ball needs. His son could have been in jail for a few years in China
because it is a serious offense in China.
The people that listen to us. Please, people who listen to us, I am not trying to condone behavior in this. Okay, I'm not saying that the president's right or they're right the way they're acting. It's stupid they did this.
But it's done.
It's done.
He let them come home. He had a hand in making them come home.
Which is a decent move by a president. Okay, any president would have done it to get those kids home. So now it's a freaking. Now he's got to. But you're right. You said it. I think you nailed it. They have to suck his dick just to make sure that.
Every single time he does something that is what a normal president would have done, that's somewhat compassionate, or is something that just a human being would do because it's there's a little bit of empathy there. He fucking wants everybody to get down on their hands and knees and go. Oh, thank you so much, Donald Trump. He wants them to kiss his ass like he's saved the fucking world of cancer or some shit. And they didn't do that. And his dad was like, Donald who? That's what LeVar Ball did. Yeah. And that's what pissed off Trump. He did it on Twitter or something like that. He made some comment. They said something like, he made a comment that the players that were accused of shoplifting in China or whatever are home, and he made some smart ass comment. And then LeVar Ball goes, they said, well, what do you? They asked him, and he goes, who? Who are you talking about? Making fun of who the fuck is Donald Trump? I don't know who this guy is. And anybody who knows Trump or has watched anything on Trump knows that he flips his fucking shit when somebody acts like they don't know who he is. When who the fuck is that? I don't know who he is. He goes nuts. Yeah. Whoa, and he got on Twitter and did his bullshit and blah, 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 blah. I should have left them in jail. And now he's all pissed off, yelling at this guy.
Yeah. And
in a little stupid Twitter feed.
Yeah. And that's his favorite thing to do is these stupid Twitter feeds or feuds. We were talking about it with, I don't know who I was talking about the other day, is that it just seems like social media is it was my brother-in-law, because my sister and my brother-in-law are in town. It just seems that social media is the downfall of everything that happens in this world.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate to say something like this, but.
And I guess.
Hang on a minute. I got to finish this.
Oh, go ahead.
This literally saddened me because I found out that my stepbrother's wife's cousin, 13 years old, was bullied pretty bad, hung himself the other day.
Really?
Hung himself. Just because he was bullied.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to politicize this or make it sound better.
Right.
But when we were younger, we got bullied. I know I did. I got bullied pretty bad.
Too. Yeah.
I got bullied
especially
bad.
In high school. I mean,
I got it more in elementary than I did in high school.
Did you?
Elementary and junior
high. I was
high.
quite the opposite, actually. Yeah. I was the shit in elementary school. I wasn't.
I really thought I was cool. I was that nerdy little kid with the half-price store clothes. I'm not going to deny this.
Well, I had the half-price store clothes, but I don't know. I thought I was the shit in elementary school and was not bullied there. But when I went to junior high and then high school, and I just had kind of just a select group of friends in high school. We graduated with a group of 600 people.
Yeah.
So then you're more likely because there's so many more kids.
The kids that I grew up with, because I'm originally from Council Bluffs, the kids I grew up with,
you probably shouldn't tell people that.
But I was bullied. I had certain things that were wrong with me, and I'm not saying like mentally, but it was physically. I had stomach problems all my life, and so stuff like that. And I was made fun of for a very long time. Now, granted, some of those people now in the age of social media have come on social media and have apologized for their behavior, which I thought was cool.
That is cool.
But back then it was completely different. But when I got into high school, it was completely different because my freshman and sophomore year was completely different. Because of social media, I wasn't bullied as much. I was kind of like in my own group. But then when I came to Millard South, I was the shit my junior year, and then I was kind of like there my senior year. So, but you got to think is what would it have been like if we had social media back then? But now the kids nowadays have that social media, and they have that constant pressure, and they have that bullying. That not only, think about it. When we came home, that's where the bullying ended. We didn't get bullied at home.
Well, that's just it.
The kids
you
are
hated
getting bullied.
Going to school because you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to get bullied. But when you left... It's okay,
They don't have that anymore. They don't have that safe haven in your room. It's there all the time.
Everything is the social media presence.
Right. And it's
actually probably
terrible.
Might get worse when they get home.
Probably.
Because more people are on making the comments, whatever.
Exactly.
If you've seen, I'd like to point this out, have you ever seen the movie Bully? Not the one from 2002 with Nick Stahl.
Nick Stahl, no.
There's it's a documentary called Bully. And... I think it came out in maybe 2011, 12, maybe 12. It's in that time frame. Yeah. Really sad, really fucking sad movie. It shows just how what you were just talking about makes such an impact on kids today. What you just said is horrible, and that gets brought up a lot of times. In the movie where someone I think it's maybe a transgender kid or something in Oklahoma, I think ends up like committing suicide or something. And then there was another incident where a kid was bullied and he hangs himself in his fucking closet. And it's horrible. They show the parents' reactions and they show just how grief-stricken the parents are. And these are just like small town people. And then this one guy, him and his wife, after they lose their kid, they try to do this protest of just it's very good, but there's parts that are really hard to watch because you see the grief of families losing a child just because some dickhead was. But that's just it. Social media. I can tell you right now, if it was the way it was when I was in high school, I don't know if I'd fucking be here. There were times when you came and you're going through adolescence, so your emotions.
It's a rough time. Your emotions are going crazy. Yeah.
And I will tell you that I actually had. I think my outlet was music. The music was so awesome.
Sure wasn't masturbation.
No, well, there's that too. But music and shit was like the really like.
We came up in the 90s, so you had some...
So you had, like, great music, and the music was, like, about that very thing. Like, these were people that were popular, and they were basically outcasts and shit. They were people that got bullied, and look at them. They're making millions now, and they're successful. And so it was like, there was your hope. Like, oh, I could be, the outcasts are successful. So there is hope for us.
There is.
But look at the fucking music they have now. It's shit.
Oh, God, it's terrible.
No wonder,
Well, not only that.
They don't have a any kind of outlet to go to.
Not only that.
Any artistic outlet or anything.
They don't have that artistic outlet, and then you have the person in the White House who literally just opens his mouth.
He's orange.
And just he tweets or like someone taking a shit. I mean, that's what it is. Like,
he is like a little child.
It's like, you need to stop this. I'm sorry, but do you think that presidents like, and I'm going to use some good presidents here, do you think FDR would have got on his phone and went,
or Eisenhower,
or Eisenhower, or Kennedy, or LBJ, or Truman even, or Reagan, mind you.
I'm gonna say I can't even see George W. Bush doing something like that.
No,
there's no
and
way.
He was probably, him and Obama were probably the two that had social media at
close
the time.
To, yeah.
I don't think social media was as prevalent during but
I will say W got bashed a lot by comedians, but also by people, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
But it was like he you could tell he didn't like it.
Yeah.
But he never, ever fucking ever acted the way this president has.
You can hate, and trust me, we are both liberal people.
He
wasn't a great president.
No.
But he at least took it with class.
He had integrity.
He had class and he had integrity.
And there's no, he would come out, like I remember a couple times he came out and was like, well, I don't like the decision, but that's our democracy. And this is why I love America. Because we have the choice. People that don't like me cannot like me.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That is exactly what...
If you don't like Donald Trump, you need to go out of the country because that's what he says.
Yes, you need to fucking leave because, 60% of the country doesn't fucking like you, asshole.
No.
So 60% of the country should fucking leave?
Well, then again, we'll go to the elections that we talked about last week. The gentleman that lost in New Jersey, I think it was New Jersey, the senator that lost, he sits there and says, well, he didn't embrace me enough. I didn't do anything for him.
Yeah.
I didn't
do anything for him. Almost sounds like Bernie Sanders.
No, I'm sorry. I'm channeling the wrong one.
I didn't do anything for him. Millionaires and billionaires.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you why.
I'll tell you why. But he didn't. He's saying that he didn't do anything for him. Yeah. He did not follow. He didn't embrace him enough or whatever. You know what? You should have just said you lost because you lost. You are not.
Oh, come on, hang on. To make a classy statement.
No, because he is like a former friend of ours who has to be the middle of the social universe. And if he doesn't, then he starts spouting off.
Well, it's really annoying for the president to do that.
Yes, it is extremely annoying.
I expect it out of that one individual, but I want the president to be a little bit more presidential. Do we really have to be a child and bitch every time somebody doesn't worship your feet? Come on.
It drives me nuts. The 3 players were suspended, but this is the one thing, and this is the tweet. This is it. He tweeted, quote, do you think that 3 UCA basketball players will say thank you to President Trump? They were headed for 10 years in jail, unquote. This is from his Twitter feed. At Real Donald Trump.
Right.
At Real Donald Trump. And this is from Twitter. I cannot deny this. This is on my screen right now. This is what he says.
Well, I also think he continues to play into this small percentage of the people in this country that are his base. That are I'm talking not the people that voted for him. I'm talking the diehard people.
They're starting to jump ship.
This they are. And a majority of the people that voted for him are jumping ship.
My brother-in-law.
I'm talking about like the small group of people where he says, I could go shoot somebody and they wouldn't change. I'm talking about those people. Those people that's who he's going for. Do you think he knows they're going to read that and go, yeah, fuck yeah, Trump, fuck those guys, and that's what he's thinking. When he says that, he's playing to that percentage of the base.
My brother-in-law said,
very small percentage.
We were talking politics at the breakfast table on last Wednesday, And he even said, he goes, I wish now I had a mulligan. He's a big golfer. He goes, I wish I had a mulligan. And he goes, I voted for the guy. And honestly, a lot of people voted for him, not because he was Donald Trump, is because he was the political outsider. He was not that he was a businessman or he was a dick. It's just that he was the outsider. He was not from...
He's going to shake things up.
He's going to shake things up. He can change things.
I don't like the guy, but he's better than Hillary. Right. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Most of the people were like
that. And a lot of people are like, okay, let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
And they literally sat on their thumbs for the last 10 months and have been like, okay.
Okay. He still hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
He has not had one solid political victory in his almost 12 months in office.
Fake news. That's a victory. Fake news.
Yeah, whatever.
Labeling the news as fake is a victory in a way. To Sarah Huckabee.
Sarah Huckabee. I
feel no relation to Bernie.
Sorry for her sometimes. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
I look at her face and I feel sorry.
Okay. Well, let's move on. That's just wow. You had to go there, didn't you? I did. Moaning drumstick. You can do Trump better than you have to say. Drumstick, you're hereby pardoned.
Oh my God.
How do you do his voice? Because you do it way better than me. You're better than me.
Drumstick, you're hereby pardoned.
That's perfect.
Like Alec Baldwin doing
Trump applauded and then Drumstick gobbled. We are here to continue a wonderful tradition. I do. I'm sounding like Bernie Sanders. I can't do it. Going into Bernie. I got to work on.
We should have a wonderful tradition.
Trump also noted that he welcomed many guests to the White House in his first several months as president, including a few strange birds. Blah, blah, blah. Ha, ha, ha. It's just... my computer just froze.
Excellent.
No, not excellent. They were never like... So now, on top of this...
Are you talking about the turkeys?
On top of turkeys, guess what he fucking did?
Well,
take a wild guess.
Anything's open with him. So.
For his first pardon, guess who he pardoned?
Sheriff fucking Arpaio.
Sheriff Arpaio.
That racist piece of fuck.
I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it, unfortunately.
Here, I can find it.
It's here. I think I can find the article here, and it shows that he does have that. And this was back in August, so he pardoned a former for a misdemeanor.
He's doing his job.
For a misdemeanor. Literally, it's like, what? Why would you do this? I mean, all this does is just add more fuel to the fire to the people who believe that Trump follows those white supremacist bastards.
I know, and
I don't know if did you watch.
I don't get that.
Did you watch?
He has people advising him. That's the other thing. He has people advising him. So how is it that he still? Well, this is kind of the running joke in the whole administration. They say that he gets all of his news and like all of his advice from like Fox and Friends and shit.
Oh, if you saw that, did you see that?
Is like totally like. There was an article to anything else outside
Neil
of that fucking box.
Neil Cavuto freaking knocked on Trump.
Yeah, he did. I actually saw it. Yeah.
I read the story. I
think
watch
Neil
the article.
Cavuto got visited by 3 ghosts the night before.
Yeah. Well, Shepard Smith has always been very critical of Trump.
Yeah,
but Shepard Smith is like the most liberal person that
he's very critical of some. A lot of the Republicans.
The president has decided. The White House just released a statement saying the president has decided.
That was Kellyanne Conway.
Nice.
And her. Talking about Sheriff Joe
from back in August, literally he told Fox News saying that a pardon that Arpaio was a great American patriot who has, quote, done a lot in the fight against illegal immigration, unquote. Huh? I don't understand why people follow this guy. But, and then you have freaking Roy Moore. Who
he's pretty much just like fucking Sheriff Joe.
But here's get into the wonderful part that I know you've been waiting to hear, and we've got about 15 minutes to do this. So let's get into into sexual harassment. To it, this is the one thing is that I don't know if you, and before I go into it, I don't know if you saw Bill Maher last week.
Yeah.
Bill Maher's ending
I saw his
new
final
rules.
or his
The new rules.
season finale.
It was
Yeah.
season finale, and he was talking about a nicer, softer Trump.
Yeah.
And it showed clips.
That was crazy.
That was crazy to see
him
him
in
and
like mid to late 80s,
late
early
80s, 90s. I think he said something before he was even
He
considered
was a
for president. Early
fucking
2000s.
different human being.
He was a different human being.
Like altogether, it was crazy.
Right. It was interesting, and honestly, if we had the Trump now of then,
Oh my God.
I think it would be a completely different story. People would love the guy.
Oh hell yeah, it would be.
He would be able to bridge the gap between Republicans and Democrats,
But
liberals
see,
and
that's
conservatives.
the thing though. He only goes with what is
Right.
selling. What's popular. What can I get?
There's another thing too: is when it comes to these sexual harassment things, these sexual harassment, what?
Oh, nothing.
These sexual harassment allegations.
Yeah.
Is that when the Republicans, what happens to a Republican, and I'm not trying to defend either one, okay, I'm not.
Right.
But when it happens to a Republican, they sit there and vehemently deny it. Someone's sticking up for them.
Well, this guy Roy Moore hasn't even come clean on it yet.
No. And the Republicans
And
are
then
jumping
more
shit
and
from
more
it.
keep
Right.
fucking accusing him.
When a
it's
Democrat
it's
or
like Bill Cosby. It's like
Yeah.
when you got 50 people accusing you, you probably did this.
When the Democrats have come out or a liberal has come out and said that, hey, we have these allegations against you. For example, Al Franken, which apparently has been hit with another groping allegation as of about a week ago. When Louis C.K., and I'm not trying to defend him, but apparently he liked to jerk off over everybody. Any Democrat or liberal, they're not, and people are like, he didn't come out and say it. Well, that's like pooping on the floor. If you poop on the floor, are you going to sit there and say, hey man, I pooped on the floor? You're going to wait till someone sees it, and they're going to be like, hey man, who pooped on the floor? All right. If you're a Republican, they're like, that wasn't my shit.
You almost sounded like Beverly Hills Cop. Hey man, is that a banana on the tailpipe?
But a Republican. Hang on,
Louis C.K.
Republican
came out and admitted it like almost right after he was accused.
Like literally
He's
right
like,
after.
These allegations are absolutely true.
Yeah, they're like, I have a
Roy
problem.
Moore isn't admitted in shit.
Right. Now, and that's the point I'm trying to bring. It's like shitting on the floor, and they're saying, well, he did admit that he shit on the floor. Well, unfortunately, would you admit that you shitted on the floor? I don't think anyone would.
Me, no.
Yeah, you know. But I mean,
it's embarrassing.
But would anyone admit that you shit on the floor? Now, if someone said, hey, did you shit on the floor? You're going, yeah, I shit on the floor.
Right.
Roy Moore is saying, no, I didn't shit on the floor.
That wasn't me.
It literally could have
But
been.
there's nobody else in the room. It had to be you. It wasn't me.
Yeah. It literally could have been embroidered with his name. He could have, like, literally would have came out and it said, this is Roy Moore's turd. And he's going to sit there and deny it. Louis C.K. did not deny it. Al Franken.
No, and I'm disappointed in these guys for doing these things.
Exactly.
These are terrible
Al
things.
Franken has been
but
hit with
they
another
both
allegation.
Admitted to it right away.
Right. He admitted and said, hey, I will
Even
comply.
like
I will
Kevin
comply.
Spacey and all these other guys that got accused of it. And they did some pretty horrible shit.
Kevin Spacey's, I think Kevin Spacey's kind of like coming out. I think that was
stupid.
It was literally like,
it was
right,
like, here's my way to come out and say that I'm gay.
Here's my excuse. I'm gay. Well, you're not leading anything to. That's just a dumb reason to come out.
So just because you're gay,
just
means you're going to be a fucking asshole.
You can touch little boys. People. No, you're adding fuel to the fire.
But here's one thing to point on what you're talking about. Bill Maher said this too. The liberal side, the left side is being accused of this just as much as the right is. And the left side is going, fuck these assholes. They shouldn't have done this shit. Harvey Weinstein. Nobody's defended Harvey Weinstein. All the left came out and said this motherfucker should be put in jail for his shit. Nobody's defended him on the left. All the people on the fucking right are still defending this asshole Roy Moore. Now, there's been people that have come and said, these are disgusting. Mitch McConnell has come out and said, this is disgusting.
This is disgusting, and if
it's
true,
he needs to go.
Bye.
It's not true. There's 15 people that have accused him.
He
needs to go.
Okay, that gives me a little bit of hope for Mitch McConnell, because normally he's just kind of the Skeletor. Yeah, Yertle the turtle that's sitting in the back of Congress.
I mean, I loved the book when I was a child, but I don't want him in.
But when he's sitting there, when Mitch McConnell, who literally half the time doesn't move faster than I fart, is sitting there saying, you gots to go, then you got to go. Because the guy probably knows something's up. That's what I'm going to assume.
Well, I think
is anyone,
he's just,
there are
he's
people
also kind of going by what we were just talking about as far as the whole when more accusers keep coming forward.
Yeah.
Like you said, well, there's been 20 people now, Roy, that have told me that you shit on the floor.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me. Swear to God, that's fake news. But now
it was the
now
liberals.
Sam and
a liberal
Bill
came in here
and Tim and Matt all came over here and said they came over too. Now there's 20 people.
Yeah.
I mean, the accusers keep coming, and he still keeps denying.
And when
it.
you were saying you're coming up bringing Cosby up, that's a good point. Because when things started coming out about Cosby, what happened?
A
lot of people were like,
I think these people
I
are.
think these people are just going for his money.
That's what I thought. Yep.
They're going for his money. Well, then there was
He could have done this.
Right. Then there was like 3 or 4 or 5, and we're like, okay, it's probably still money. And then it became 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're like,
and it came up to it's like 50. It was
when you get like to 10, you're like,
yeah,
all right,
okay.
well, maybe something's going on here. Maybe
this guy fucking did this.
But then they're like 11, 12, 20, 30, 40, 50. And you're like,
okay, he's a fucking asshole.
All right,
he really fucking did this shit. Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, you have a lifetime subscription to frickin' Demerol, or what?
Serial Rape Magazine.
Yeah.
Knock him out and fuck. That is fucking horrible. So, yes, that's just it. At first, it's like, well, maybe it could be bullshit.
Right.
Maybe it still could be. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, fucking Trump's been accused of 16. 16 fucking people have accused him. And we have a fucking tape proving that he does. And no, I'm okay with that. He gets to be president, but all these other guys got to go to jail for it.
Right, and Harvey Weinstein, like you said, Harvey Weinstein, nobody defended him. No one.
Nobody on the fucking
Louis C.K. came out.
In fact,
no one defended him.
No, he didn't.
No one defended him
at
all.
He admitted to it, and he made this 2-page fucking apology. I need to go away. I need help. I have problems with this shit.
And look, he's willing to take his lumps because he lost his show on he lost his show on FX.
They took all this shit away from him.
They took all his shit away from him. Took all his toys, and now.
But the fucking right. Who always claims to be Christian and moral and fucking God-fearing, a lot of times are the ones that are doing the opposite of what Christianity stands for. 95% of the time.
Just like the guy who is the anti.
But they will not admit to their fucking imperfections or their crimes, which I know is an anti-fucking Christian.
Well, not only that, the anti-LGBT senator or House representative from Delaware, I think he was.
Oh, that one dipshit that just got fucking...
And he's like, I'm against the gays. I'm against the gays. They found him fucking some guy in his office. Or getting a B from some guy in his office. Something
it's usually
along
the people
those
that
lines.
hate them the most that are...
And when you read...
That's why I think Mike Pence is gay.
George Takei even said, he goes, people that
I'm
are the
90% sure Mike Pence is gay.
George Takei said that people that are the most closeted are the ones that sit there and try to deny it the most.
Yeah, deny it
because they've been brought up to
Yeah.
believe that this is horrible, this is ungodly, this is unclean, that it's a terrible thing.
Dude, Pence,
no, it's not.
There. Right there.
It is not.
He is the spitting image of this.
Well, here's the one thing, too, is that people want to sit there and say, well, it's unclean, it's not clean, it's not healthy, it's against the rules, it's against the law, it's against God.
It's the same as fucking a dog. That's what they've said. It's like bestiality.
No. Have you ever tried fucking a dog? I haven't personally. I don't know anyone else that has.
I have.
How's it go for you?
Not bad.
Wow. I learn more about you every day, and I've known you 25 years.
Their butts are small.
I've known you 25 years. And I find more shit out about you every damn day. Wow.
I'm kidding. But no, that's
you're
my...
not. Anyway,
no, you're not. But
no, you're right. You're
my
right.
point is they're comparing... That's what they're comparing homosexuality with, is having sex with a fucking dog. Or a goat or whatever whatever the people that voted for them
it just amazes me.
do on a Saturday night.
And like we said, I am not trying to defend any of the liberals in here, even though I am liberal. I'm not defending them. I'm not. Al Franken has come up with a second allegation. This was about a week ago, that he groped a woman without consent. Apparently, you need consent to grope now. Apparently, this just adds to it. But of course, when one comes out, then the closet gets opened, and everybody and their sister is going to come out.
Right.
But he did not deny that it happened. He doesn't remember if it happened, which is fine. It happened.
Yeah.
This one says it was 2010. The first one was somewhere in the 80s or 90s when he was on Saturday Night Live the second time, which I believe was when he was a writer.
Well, I'm talking about the time when he went with that
the model.
comedian,
That was, I think, in the 80s or 90s, I believe it was.
The USO tour or whatever they
it was
were
80s
on.
or something like that. Now, I can see that your memory being a little fuzzy because half the time I can't remember what happened 2 days ago.
Right.
So I'll let him have that when he says, look, I don't know if I did. I'm willing to cooperate with any kind of investigation. And he's like, I want to get this, if my behavior has done that, I apologize.
Yeah.
And if it comes out that I did something that was illegal or ethically or morally wrong, then I will take the consequences.
Yeah.
He has not denied that.
No.
Roy Moore consistently says, hey, I didn't do anything.
This is fake. This is the fake news media. He still uses the Trump bullshit card.
Right. And then he has that other guy pulling the bullshit card saying that, oh, well.
You're going to have to level that down. Who's that?
Well, I don't remember his name, but then he's like, well, Mary was a teenager when she was pregnant with Jesus.
Oh, my. Oh, it was, God damn it. What was his name? Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
We talked about it last time. And he and literally he's like, well, okay, so Joseph was 50, Mary was 17. It was an arranged marriage, and apparently God came out of nowhere and got her pregnant.
It's like Jesus got created.
Right. It's just like you're trying to make excuses for something that makes no sense whatsoever.
And can you imagine if this was reversed? If this was on the left side and some Democrat said that shit.
Oh, the right would go ballistic.
Fucking stoned. Oh my God.
The right would go ballistic.
They would seriously lose their shit.
Well,
that's why it's a double standard. It's like a triple fucking standard on this. It's ridiculous.
We're about at the halfway point to take our first break before we get into movie talk.
Movie
talk right here. And as we get into
RoyMooreIsApedophile.com.
The Bull Session Podcast. Email us. bullsession@campusnimedia.com. You can email me personally. No, you can't. I don't have that email set up yet.
Oh, well,
it's my other email, and I'm not handing that one out.
Why would you tell them that?
I don't know. But we'll be back for movie talk, and then we'll get into a little sports. Stay tuned on the Bull Session Podcast right here. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Bull Session Podcast Part 2. Don't forget about me. Squeak.
Don't forget about me. Squeak.
If she listens to this, she's going to be like, God,
I'll have to tell her.
Damn it.
Tell her that.
Movie time. Don't have the music with me because I forgot part of this. So, of course, you know where we get all our information from BoxOfficeMojo.com.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Usually a pretty good weekend for some movies.
They also usually have some big stuff.
Big stuff. As you know, we go through the top 15 so we can stretch out this thing just a touch. And we start with number 15, The Florida Project. I don't know what that is. From A24. A24 is coming more to be more of a
indie film.
They're getting bigger because I'm finding more things from A24.
$4 million. That's made.
It's made $4 million this week. It's been on the chart 8 weeks, and it seems like creeping up a little bit.
Okay.
And so $298,000 this week.
Okay.
Number 14 was Jigsaw, the Saw prequel, sequel, reboot, whatever. $380,000. It's made $37.2 million in 5 weeks. The budget was only 10, so that is a definite win. A new one on the countdown for number 13, Call Me By Your Name.
I've heard good things about this, actually.
I have not heard anything about this.
Small indie movie with Armie Hammer is in it.
Armie Hammer?
Yeah, that's his real fucking
name. No,
I
know. He played the Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger, and yeah.
$404,000 first week on the countdown. Number 12, The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Oh, is this about Charles Dickens?
Charles Dickens,
yep.
$1.3 million first week on the countdown.
Christopher Plummer is in it as, I think.
Yes, I believe the Scrooge character.
The Scrooge character, yes. Yeah. And then Dan Stevens from
Downton Abbey.
Yeah,
and he was also in Beauty and the Beast. He played the Beast.
Oh, was he really?
Okay.
Yeah,
which was actually really good.
He plays Charles Dickens in it, I believe. So.
He's actually a really good actor.
He is a good actor. He's been in lots of other stuff.
He's been in other stuff, too. I think he was in
Walk Among the Tombstones with Liam Neeson.
I think he was in 28 Days Later,
and
or 28 Weeks Later.
Was he in that?
I think so.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure.
He's been in some other stuff too. Criminal Activity with John Travolta. He's been in, just kind of some.
He's well known stuff. For Downton Abbey. That's probably the one thing that gave him the biggest limelight to his career.
Yeah, he's an English actor.
Number 11, Lady Bird.
I shit you fucking not. I thought this was about Lady Bird Johnson.
It's not. It's
not. It's about a girl kind of finding herself in California. Or something.
A little over $4 million.
It's Saoirse Ronan, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Okay.
A little over $4 million. It's made $10.7 million in 4 weeks. This movie kind of just really, it's kind of a semi-biographical, well, it's based on something that's called 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
They're
from Fox
raving
Searchlight.
about this movie.
This movie has gotten just unbelievable reviews.
It's like an 8.5 on IMDb, I think.
You got IMDb, I got Rotten Tomatoes.
They said Sam Rockwell and Woody Harrelson's performances are absolutely fantastic. And then they said, god damn it, what the hell's her name? I can't believe I can't think of it
Frances
right now.
McDormand.
Yes, McDormand, yes. She's like awesome. Also.
Rotten Tomatoes has it as 94%. That is huge on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
That
They
is
said it's
big
funny, but it's like a dark comedy in a way, too. But they said it's just a great movie.
$4.4 million in 3 weeks has made $7.6 million.
And it's small, too. It's slowly branching out to other
small.
theaters.
They keep adding theaters to it.
Yep. So hopefully it'll get a bigger audience.
Bigger one. Number 9, Roman J. Israel Esquire
Denzel
from
Washington
Denzel
one.
Washington from Sony. $4.5 million. This one was a limited release first week.
Okay.
So it gained, I think, 1,600
I'm hearing
screens this
mixed
time.
on this. I heard Denzel's talent is like kind of wasted in this movie. I heard it's just very bland of a movie, but it's like, okay for, Denzel Washington fans. But they said for him, it's just kind of just a type of film. It's nothing
Colin
really
Farrell is
exciting.
in it
Colin
as well.
Farrell's also in it.
As
There's
of-
somebody else known too.
As of right now, it has a 54 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. I think it's like
So
a
that's-
6 on IMDb or 5.8 or something, which his movies are usually way higher than that.
Oh, cool. Interesting. Actually, I haven't been able to get this up, but it looks like 3 Billboards has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Lady Bird has 100%.
Oh my God, really?
So that is like huge, and you got to think that these are the reviewers that do this. Rotten Tomatoes has the reviewers and then the audience. They have 2 different things,
Right.
2 different categories. I don't know what the audience score is because it's not coming up, but the Tomatoes, the critics.
That's the critics.
The critics are giving it 100%. This one does not surprise me, but A Bad Mom's Christmas is next from STX, $5 million. In 4 weeks, it's made $59.7 million and a $28 million budget. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 27.
I never saw the Bad Mom first one.
But it has, was it Kristen? She's on The Good Place.
Oh,
Kristen something. I can't remember her name. Crap.
God damn it.
You know who I'm talking
Kristen, what the fuck's her last name?
She's on The Good Place.
Okay.
If you've ever seen that TV with Ted Danson, my wife loves that show. Mila Kunis is another one, and then I can't think of the third, and I'm having difficulty getting stuff up. I have too much open on my computer. But that is your number 8 movie down 1 spot.
Okay.
Number 7, The Star.
What is that?
$6.8 million. Like I said, I'm having difficulty pulling things up now, so it's going to get a little more difficult. That's
$22 million.
55 on
so
Rotten
far.
Tomatoes.
$20 million budget. That is, it's all voices, so it must be an animation.
More than likely.
Anthony Anderson's a voice, Kristen Chenoweth, Gabriel Iglesias, Keegan-Michael Key, Chris Christopherson does a voice, Tracy Morgan, Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I don't know that one, unfortunately.
I do not. I don't know if I've even seen anything for this.
I don't know. We'll have to look into it when we take a break next. Number 6 movie, Murder on the Orient Express, the 2017.
They're talking about making
Branagh.
a sequel to this.
And I've heard
Bell. That's
it,
what
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell.
Thank you. That was bugging me.
Yeah,
this is the Kenneth Branagh movie, Murder on the Orient Express. He not only directs it. I've heard good things about it. The Rotten Tomatoes has it at 59%. That's not horrible. It's not great.
But I've heard,
I've heard good things about
it.
It's
doing well, $74 million.
Yeah.
It's hanging in the top, 10.
Yeah. $74 million on a $55 million budget. That's in 3 weeks. So it's got some.
A lot of good actors.
Got some chops.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Johnny Depp.
It's got an all-star cast. Johnny
Kenneth
Depp,
Branagh,
Kenneth
Daisy
Branagh,
Ridley's
Daisy
in it,
Ridley.
Star Wars.
Who else? There is a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of star
there's
power behind this.
Quite a few. But
And
I've
it-
heard
it brings
it's got
another-
a decent twist. I've heard they kind of do a different take on the book and then the old one in the 70s.
Well, I'm used to having
David Suchet
be
Right,
Poirot.
Hercule Poirot, yeah.
Hercule Poirot. He has been Hercule Poirot for the last 20 years.
Right.
And to see a different spin on it, and I was wondering if like David Suchet would have like a cameo doing something like an engineer or something, in that movie. But next up, Daddy's Home 2, down a spot, $13.2 million. It's made $72 million in 3 weeks against its $69 million budget. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The Rotten Tomato score is not good. What is the IMDb score? You probably have that.
Oh, I know.
The Rotten Tomato score is 16%.
Oh my God, really?
It's getting knocked around.
And my parents saw it. They said they thought it was funny. They're kind of. I mean, those movies. They're kind of. They like just a quick laugh.
The audience is giving it a 62 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
So the critics are different.
6.2 IMDb.
Yep, 6.2 sounds.
So it's
right.
getting.
Yeah,
it's
getting fair. I mean, it's not like horrible.
It's not a horrible film.
I
mean,
here it is.
I'm
okay. Now it's finally coming up. The Star. Yeah, it's looks like a Christmas film, like about. It's a holiday. It's like an animated version of the Christ story, of the Christmas Christ story.
Okay.
This is what it looks like. So.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know if that was you or me.
That was me.
That was you? Okay. Number 4, great movie. If you haven't seen it, go catch it. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, I've heard good things.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's really funny. And
I heard it's fun.
The first 2 Thor movies were good, but it was just like
I didn't see the second one. I saw the first one.
This really kind of puts a little oomph into the character.
Okay.
Making him funny, a little more believable, and more. $16.7 million this week. In 4 weeks. This movie's made $27 million domestically. $277 million in 4 weeks against $180 million budget. If I can get the foreign numbers to load, I will tell you what they are because they're not loading up right now.
For Thor Ragnarok?
For Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, they're big. 512.
Wow. 92%
So it's almost at $800
on Rotten Tomatoes, which
it's
is
almost
huge.
at $800 million.
There we go.
Yeah,
I think I've just got too much open.
It's huge.
Right now. Number 3, Wonder by Lionsgate.
They're raving about this movie. My parents saw it, and they said it was absolutely
86
fantastic.
by Rotten
This is the
Tomatoes.
one with Julia Roberts, I think. Isn't this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. But it's about this kid. It's based on a true story. Yep, Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
And it's based on this true story about this kid who's got a disfigured. His face is disfigured, and it's based on a true story. They're saying it's just awesome. They're saying it's just really just an uplifting film and very.
Is it like
inspiring.
that movie with Cher in
Mask? I don't
Mask.
think so. I mean, it's based on a different. I mean, obviously it's not about that character, but it's based on something that happened. I don't know all the details for it, but the critics are really praising it. And
Owen Wilson is in
audiences
it.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. They're saying it's funny, but it's also really good drama, and they're saying really good things about it. $22 million it made.
86
It's already at
by the tomato
69.
meter. The audience score is 91.
$69 million total already for
That's
it.
pretty big in 2 weeks.
And it's a
no
small
budget,
movie.
Yeah.
So
Number 2, Justice League by Warner Brothers, $40.7 million. A total gross of $171 million, so it made $130 its first week. That's a huge drop.
yeah, it is.
That's a $90 million drop in
Yeah.
1 week. And the one thing too is, like I said, I wonder, if you would look at the IMDb score for that movie, the Rotten Tomato score is 41.
okay.
And I've been hearing
hearing
things
kinda
about
mixed.
it. Mixed.
My brother, who's a big comic book fan, he just said it was just okay.
The audience score is 82 by Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
But I haven't heard like, oh my God, this movie is like blowing the MCU out of the water.
I mean, it's rated 7.3 on IMDb.
Yeah, that's a fair score.
Yeah, that's good.
But literally, it just seems like now that the DC Extended Universe, you have 2 major comic book universes, the DC Extended Universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have those 2, and they're fighting for supremacy. And honestly, the MCU is winning. The MCU got out of the gate way earlier than the DC Extended Universe.
Okay.
And you have more movies in the MCU than the DC. DC, I think, has 4 now. They had Man of Steel,
Wonder Woman,
Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman,
yep.
Wonder Woman, And then it came to Justice League. You
Yeah.
have the first big movie. So I
With
guess
Suicide
this would
Squad.
be and Suicide Squad. That
Yeah.
was another one. So you have those, and then you'd have, I guess, Justice League would be like the first Avengers movie.
Right.
I would say. And the first Avengers
Well,
was very,
see,
very good.
I think they've kind of rushed. DC's kind of rushed everything
agree
out,
with
whereas
you.
Marvel took their time making.
they
all the
literally-
Iron Mans, all the Thors. I mean, they're
trying to get to that end game.
Yeah,
and that end game is where
the
they're headed.
Hulk was separate.
Right.
I mean, these guys have basically just combined everything within like 2
Right.
years. We got a Wonder Woman, we got a
Yeah.
Batman and Superman. You know, let's throw out Justice
Yeah.
League now. Then we're gonna probably do Aquaman. You know,
Yep.
they're just throwing
Aquaman
everything
is
out
next year.
like
Yeah.
right away. You know, they're rushing. You know,
Right.
because they're
I
trying
mean,
to
you had
catch
to-
up
right.
of 10 years of Marvel.
Yeah.
You know,
And Marvel, I think, did it right because you have
they did. They took their time.
each of those.
Captain America was separate
Captain
too.
America,
They
yeah.
had like 2 movies without. You know.
And you have those movies, and they literally set up. Not only did they do themselves for their own individual characters,
Yeah.
is they set it up for the end game.
Yeah.
Every movie ties together somehow.
Yeah.
You know, and as we know, the end game in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right, and the Infinity, like Guardians
Right.
and Galaxy and all that stuff. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. Now, if you get to see Thor, you will see a great preview for Black Panther, which will be the next movie before Infinity War. I believe Avengers: Infinity War. I believe is the next. And I believe there is 6 stones to the Infinity Gauntlet, and only 5 have been discovered. So everyone's believing that the 6th one will be in Black Panther, and that movie looks fantastic from the previews that I've seen.
Yeah, he was pretty awesome as Black Panther in Civil
definitely.
War.
And I actually got to see that not too long ago, and
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
great.
cool.
Saw John Wick 2 the other day, and that was really damn good.
That's also. a
I'm waiting for
badass
John Wick
movie.
3, and you got to wait
I know.
till 2019. for that.
2019 in May, I think it is.
So yeah, we got to sit there and wait for that, just like I'm waiting for Westworld season 2
When is Westworld season 2?
sometime next year. They still
Oh, it's
have
not
it,
till
yeah.
next year. Okay.
I almost bought the movie. It was in the shit bin at Walmart today.
Oh, that's funny. We were at the Walmart and I was kind of walking by and I saw it in the ship in.
Yeah, and the
I was
Blu- and
telling
the Blu-ray
Diane
bin.
about. I said anytime we picked out a bad movie for Christmas to be
Yeah.
funny, I said I'd always ask my brothers where they got it, and they'd go, "Oh, the Walmart ship in."
And now actually the shipment's got
Now they
actually
actually put
decent movies.
decent
you know,
movies
there's
in there
no
along
shit
with-
movie.
with some
You actually have
shit.
to go to the DVD bin. The Blue bin actually has good movies. The DVD bin has the shit.
Has the Steven Seagal
has
stuff.
Steven Seagal stuff, yes. And the number 1 movie this week from Buena Vista Films, I believe it's a Disney movie, and it
Coco?
is Coco. $71 million. Total is gross in the first week, but I think it was released on Wednesday, and they will not count Wednesday.
Okay.
$49 million for the weekend. This movie looks fantastic. I don't know if you've seen any previews for it. It's about the kid who goes into the valley of the dead to try to find his grandfather or something, or say hi to his grandfather, or his dad or something or other. And it looks, I mean, the animation looks crisp and fantastic. The storyline is supposed to be really, really good, and I really want to get a chance to see it. It's averaging $12,000 a theater. Wow,
Oh wow! Okay.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Especially from Call Me By Your Name, who was the number 13 movie, only is in 4 theaters and got $101,000 in 4 theaters.
Oh wow!
That is impressive.
Yeah, that's really good
That's
too.
extremely impressive.
Yeah, it is for a movie that small.
Yeah, for a movie that small and have the movies that wide have that $12 million. And it's got, you're dealing with death and you're dealing with kids and everything, so it's a little bit of a scary slope and everything. But, I mean, it's really come out to apparently be a very, very good movie. And Rotten Tomatoes has it as a 96,
Okay.
which is amazing. I think that's great. So it'll be interesting to see how everything's going to kind of turn out
Yeah.
in the end for them. And I wish I was making that money personally that we talk about every week at this time. So, that's the box office, baby.
Excellent.
As we do every time this time around. And we'll take our next break, and we have the next 30 minutes to talk about one of our favorite things. We're gonna talk about some sports and
Football.
some football, especially Nebraska football, as you know. Oh, that's going to be fun. And then we'll get a little into the pros and talk about how freaking sucking my Chiefs are recently.
What happened with them?
I don't know. They decided just to stop playing. I don't know, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Stay tuned. The Bull Session Podcast, Part 3, about to come. Stay tuned. We shall return. Bull Session Podcast, Part 3. We are back. and we are fired up and liquored up and pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
As we get into the sports section of the game.
I need to be liquored up and pissed off when we get into sports.
We'll go NFL.
I'm always pissed off, but we
We got about half an hour left, so let's go to pro football real quick.
Okay.
And talk about how my freaking Chiefs have been sucking dick like you wouldn't believe.
Sucking dick like it's their job.
Okay, when you have the best record in the NFL at one point, you go 5-0.
They always do this, though.
They went 5-0. Usually they go at least 7 or 8 games. They went 5-0, and then the next 6 games they've gone 1-5. I mean, literally, they went two losses, a win, and then 3 more.
That's what I don't understand. They start up. Andy Reid, irregardless, Andy Reid is definitely their coach. Though.
Oh yeah, Andy Reid is a great coach.
He's a great coach, and he's awesome for them.
You know, he's literally turned that program around because
he really has.
They were terrible for quite a while. And then he's really turned them around.
What's your opinion on Alex Smith?
You know what?
You think
well, here it was. Is you thought at the beginning of the year they drafted that quarterback or traded for that quarterback. I can't remember his name. But then you're like, oh my God, it's on the chopping block. You look at the first 5 games. It's like, where was this Alex Smith?
Yeah.
Where was he? We haven't seen him in the last few years. Right. Where the hell was this guy?
Yeah.
And he was doing great. But now you have, and I don't know if it's necessarily his fault because unfortunately I haven't seen the last couple of games. But you know, you've got receivers that know where Tom Bahali is out again. He's
no kidding.
You have injuries and stuff like that. Well, then we look at your Rams. Your Rams are doing pretty.
No, they're actually doing really good.
They are
7-3.
7-3. Yeah, right now on top of the NFC West.
That's actually really good for
them. And if you look at division leaders, they were terrible
last season.
But they got that new coach, that really young coach.
I still wish that they would have stayed in St. Louis, but
well, here's the funny thing: is the Chargers
2 fucking teams in Los Angeles?
No, there are 4.
How is there 4?
You have
San Diego
is now playing in L.A.
Well,
the Raiders are currently in L.A., but they're going to Vegas.
Yeah.
You have Chargers.
That's 3.
Raiders. What was the other one? Niners. No, they're in Flint.
They're in San Francisco.
Okay, they have 3, I guess.
Yeah.
That's going to go down because the Chargers are going to have to move because if you look at any Chargers game, when the Chiefs played the Chargers in the beginning of the season, they were in a stadium.
What they moved from San Diego?
I don't know. Apparently, they're trying to get a new stadium. Qualcomm Stadium is being torn down. They're trying to get a new stadium. So this is what they do: is they move to L.A., which is close to San Diego. That whole area is pretty close to each other.
And they move there. You know that San Diego stands for
a whale's vagina. The Kansas City San Diego game at the beginning of the year.
Agree to disagree.
The stadium probably seated, I think they said 75,000, 60 or 75,000. It wasn't a giant number by NFL stadiums by far.
Right.
There was 20,000 people in the stands.
Oh my God.
20,000 people for every other stadium. You look at every other stadium, it's probably sold out, just jam-packed. San Diego, since they moved from San Diego to LA just this year, they've been getting terrible numbers. Horrible numbers. Wow. And right now they're second in their division because the Chiefs suck. The Raiders are 4-6, Broncos are 3-7. I hate the Broncos even worse, and they're losing, and I'm happy.
Raiders are 4-6?
4-6.
Wow. Do you know who their coach is?
I do not. Division leaders, the Patriots. AFC East, Patriots are 9-2. No.
Barry Sweatshirt.
9-2. The Patriots more than likely will go to the playoffs.
Fuck them.
AFC West is pretty much in the air. It's either going to be the Chiefs or the Chargers at this point.
Right.
You go to the AFC North. The Steelers are 8-2, 3 games way up on the Ravens. So it'll probably be the Steelers.
What are the Lions' record? You know.
I'm going to get there. Jaguars and Titans are fighting for the AFC South. We go to the NFC. The Eagles are 10-1 right now. They are going to the playoffs.
Yeah, they're
10-1. They lost their first game and then they've won 9 straight.
I got a guy at my work who's always been an Eagles fan. I'm like, Jesus, dude, your team is just killing it this year.
They're huge. The Rams are 7-3. The Seahawks, I think, would probably be fighting for the NFC West, but they lost Richard Sherman to injury, so they're 6-4.
What was he out for?
I can't remember. I know he's injured. The Niners actually won a game, so they're 1-9. They're not near as bad as the Browns, who are 0-11.
I cannot believe they haven't won a game yet.
They're that bad.
It's kind of sad in a way.
Very sad because the Browns are a very storied team,
Right.
and they're losing their.
They've been bad though for a long time.
This is the worst year I think I've ever seen them. The Vikings are 9-2. More than likely, they'll go to the playoffs.
No else's
The
team.
Lions are 6-5.
Hamburgers team.
The Hamburgers team are 6-5. So
They're average.
average.
What's the Chiefs again?
They're 6-5.
6-5. Okay.
And then the NFC South, it's Saints Panthers. The Saints went 0-2 and then they won 8 straight.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
you got to give a lot of credit to the
They're
Saints.
doing good. Okay.
So and the Falcons are 7-4. So those three right there
Yeah.
are really the crapshoot of the NFC.
Falcons
so,
are 7-4.
7-4.
I would really like to sit down with that team and ask them what the fuck happened last Super Bowl. I mean,
I
God,
don't know.
these guys need to go to schools right now and show children how to choke.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what they fucking did. They were up by like 3 touchdowns, and then they.
Yeah.
My God.
Next
that pissed me
week, the
off.
games will be Redskins Cowboys is the Thursday night game. I'd probably go Redskins on that one because Cowboys are just kind of choking themselves.
My friend Rob's a big Cowboys fan.
Chiefs Jets follow that. I am a Chiefs fan. I'd go Chiefs honestly on that.
You know,
one.
Chiefs and Jets?
Yeah, I'd
What's
go
Jets'
Chiefs.
record?
I can't go back to that graphic. Patriots Bills. I'd take Patriots on that one.
Yeah, of
Broncos
course.
Dolphins. I would go Dolphins honestly because Broncos are a train wreck right now. Niners Bears. I would definitely go Bears on that one.
Oh, what's Chicago's record? Do you know?
Uh,
Actually, I'll look it up.
Bears are 3-8,
Oh, my God.
and I would still take.
My poor brother.
Yeah, I would still take the Bears on that one because the Niners are 1-9.
Good
Lions
Lord.
Ravens.
And they got slaughtered today by the Eagles, 31-3. The Bears did.
Lions Ravens. I would go Ravens there. Vikings Falcons. Definitely Vikings. I would take the Bucks over the Packers. I would take the Texans over the Titans. The Colts over the Jags, definitely the Jaguars. The Chargers over the Browns. I would take the Rams over the Cardinals next week. I really would. I would take that.
Oh, yeah, they'll
Take
definitely beat the
those.
Cardinals.
Raiders Giants. I would take the Raiders over the Giants just because the Giants are terrible and Kansas City should have won that game. Saints over the Panthers. Eagles over the Seahawks, definitely. And the Steelers Bengals is the Monday night game next week, and I would take the Steelers on that one. That's your pro. Let's go college. Let's talk some Nebraska. Well, guess what? Bye-bye, Mike Riley.
Poor Mike Riley. I
like the guy, but
I
unfortunately...
really liked him as a human being.
Yeah.
Good guy.
The stuff he did
But he
when Sam
never
Foltz died,
really
that showed
had-
class.
yeah,
but
he really
he really never had the
And
fire.
he showed a lot of
Yeah.
class yesterday when they asked
Yeah,
him to
when
come
they-
out
yeah,
and,
when they-
and talk to him.
Yeah.
That's one thing that nobody's ever going to take away from him. He's always been a classy
Yeah.
person. He's always been a good guy.
Right.
Nobody's going to argue that. But I was never impressed, and I don't know about you, but before he got hired, and they were talking about his record and shit, I'm like, his record's not very good at all. Why are we hiring this guy? And I think, honestly, it was more of a safe hire for the older fans, the blue hairs and stuff like that, because they freaking hated Pelini because of all his anger issues and yelling and catching him on tape.
Well, here's the
saying
one thing
this
too
shit.
is that you can
They
say he
wanted
was a good coach. They wanted that firebrand.
They wanted
He's at Division III Youngstown State, and what is he doing? He's not really doing all that great in
right.
Youngstown.
But they wanted I think they wanted a safe hire as far as they wanted
They want someone like Osborne.
exactly.
That's what they want.
And he had
and
kind
he
of that
had
persona,
that persona, those
that
mannerisms.
super,
the
chill,
real chill.
Okay, we got to do a little bit better at this. We got to do, not angry. Totally the opposite of Pelini. And so it was just like, but he didn't have a record that was very good. He did some things in Oregon State and stuff, but it was like his record was not that good. And I was just like, why? I looked at his record. I remember all these people were talking about him, and all these people, all these diehard fans at my work, were practically sucking this guy's dick before he even got hired. And I'm like. And I went like, what the fuck? I was looking at what he had on his record and shit. I'm like, why is everybody praising this guy so far? He hasn't coached a game yet. Let's wait till he coaches a game or 2 or 3 or 4. Let's wait till he has a season. Then we can talk about how good. But all these people, oh my God, I think this guy's gonna be the next Osborne. Blah 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 blah. Calm the fuck down. You don't need the guy's record isn't that good. B, you haven't seen him coach the players yet. You don't know what kind of rapport he's going to have. you don't know anything yet about this guy. Take a chill pill before we decide, to put him on this pedestal.
He was.
And I really, after seeing him on interviews, he is a good man. He's a good dude. Fucking God bless him. But yeah, he just could not.
He was
put these guys any kind of winning.
Yeah, 19 and 19.
Just couldn't.
And you had the shortest stint as a Husker coach since Pete Elliott, who coached the team in one season in 1956. And also the worst record since 1961.
Yeah.
4 losses. Now, I thought it was Callahan that had that, but no, he won 5 games.
He did win 5.
It was 2003.
However.
But that was the year we didn't go to a bowl.
No. However, he broke records of losing. There was the 70-10, and I forget who
And
that
it
was
Kansas.
with. Was that Kansas? That was Kansas? 70-10 was Kansas? Oh, my God. A lot of people said that they were like,
Kansas.
Well, who do you think's the worst coach, Callahan or I'm like, Callahan, hands down.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you say that? Riley's dead. I'm like, yes, but Callahan came in fucking pumping his fucking chest, saying all kinds of shit. National championship, I'm going to take these guys, blah, 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 talking the team up, whatever. He couldn't do shit with college. There's a guy right there that needs to just be an assistant or a coordinator. Callahan, he's a smart guy. He needs to just stay as a coordinator, and he can do fine. He is not a fucking head coach, by far not. Riley also has age, 65. He's 65 years old, I believe. So it's just like, I honestly think he's just going to retire.
Callahan went 27 and 22. So he has a higher win percentage as Callahan. However, it was a record-setting. They lost 5 games in a row, including a record-setting 76-39 loss to Kansas. 76 to 39. To 39.
What was the 70-10?
It's not saying here, and I don't know when that was. He closed the season. He lost to Colorado 65-51.
But these scores, they're so fucking high. I just can't believe that. I can't believe the defense allowed
his first year record was 5-6, Nebraska's first losing season since 1961.
Okay. Well, what was Riley's first record? It was pretty bad. His first season, it was pretty bad.
His first season he went 5 wins.
Did he?
Yeah, he got 5 wins that year. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to find it here. I keep going too far.
But I remember the first 1 or 2 games were close. There was 2 or 3 games that were actually
He went
close.
6-7.
Okay.
Because he beat UCLA. He went 7-0 in the beginning, and then he lost to Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa, Tennessee, finishing 9-4. Third season, he went 4-8. That's the worst season in 56 years. He was 19-19 in.
Matthew,
in actual play, and then 12-14 in Big Ten play.
Okay.
So he did not do extremely well there.
But he did do well.
So you have that, and I'm trying to find. I can't find it. But I don't see the loss that they had. Just the 76-39 loss to Kansas. I remember that one. That was extremely bad because Kansas was literally the whipping boy of the Big 10 or the Big 12.
Kansas.
Everybody lost to Kansas.
That was probably the year of Mark Mangino.
2007.
Yeah. See, Mark Mangino was basically Kansas's only coach that ever had them winning games. After they lost Mark Mangino, they just were shit again. They were shit until he came along. And then when he, ate the staff, and because he's 500 pounds, and he got kicked out for something with one of the players doing something to a player, being rough on a player or something. I'm not sure the whole story with it. I would have to ask my brother, but he ended up getting kicked out or whatever, or they let him go after a season or something. But he actually had a successful football season with that team. And then after they lost him, he was horrible. Well, Turner Gill coached for him, and he was fucking horrible again.
Now he's doing pretty well where he's at now.
Everybody keeps talking about we need Turner. No, we don't fucking need Turner Gill as coach. Turner Gill is fine as an assistant, but he is not going to be a head coach.
Actually, Bill Callahan had 4 years. Mike Riley only had 3.
He only had 3. Yep.
Bill Callahan he was 5-6, 8-4, 9-5, and 5-7. Mike Riley went 6-7, 9-4, and then 4-8.
What do you think about this talk? And see, I was not even.
Now this is huge. What they've been talking about is they
was not even. I hadn't even heard about this until my brother was telling me about this last night about Scott Frost. They all but have this guy fucking hired. It's like
pretty much. Now they've been a lot of talk has been going around about this as to where they want Scott Frost. Now Scott Frost is in a position at UCF. He's been there 2 years. He turned them from a joke into probably one of the better low-tier Division I programs.
I didn't know his record.
He is number 15 in the country.
They were saying that he was like.
It's probably going to go higher now.
Good, yeah.
He's going to the
and he's head coach there, correct?
Yeah, yes, he's in the American Athletic Federation championship game, which is the league they're in. They're going against Tennessee or something. Not Tennessee. It's like a Tennessee school. But he literally is doing really well. Scott Frost is one of the names, probably one of the bigger names that have come out to say that. Now, everybody knows that if a college has to grant permission for another college to even talk to their coach. That is NCAA law. So we know that Nebraska, Florida, at least those two schools have talked to Scott Frost because there is a coaching vacancy in Florida.
In Florida, yeah.
At Florida, for the Florida Gators.
Okay.
There is now a coaching vacancy in Nebraska. Obviously. There is a lot of talk. Now, he cannot say anything at all until after this game.
He came on and actually said they asked him some things after this game because they got another game.
They have one more game. He cannot say anything until after that game, or he'll end up losing a buyout. He'll end up losing $3 million.
He even said he's like, well. He goes, the only thing I'm going to do is go home and spend time with my family or some shit like that. He's like, he basically avoided, and said,
There was a Twitter feed that came out that said that he denied it, and it looked like, from what I read, it wasn't even the right person.
Yeah.
It wasn't even him. It was someone else. So it'll be interesting. Now, if that happens, then you have the same formula as you have when Osborne was here. When Osborne came in the 60s, he came in, he was a graduate assistant. Mm-hmm. That he played in the 50s or the 40s or 50s for Nebraska, and then he went and played a few years in the pros, and then he came back and as a graduate assistant, and then he came up, and after having I think Devaney had a bad year. I think this was in 68 or 69.
Actually, Devaney had quite a few bad years.
He had a few bad years.
Before he kind of hit a stride.
And then 68 or 69.
Before he started winning seasons, he did.
Then you have freaking Osborne come in, and he's like, all right, and Osborne literally turned the entire offense around.
Yeah.
And then you win the 1970.
Osborne struggled too. He had
We're not that far yet because we're still with Devaney. He won because of Tom Osborne and the changes he made to the offense. He won the 1970 and 1971 national championships, hands down. It was because of Osborne. It also helped that you got Johnny Rodgers, who was probably one of the best running backs in the country at the time.
Yep.
And so then he hands off Nebraska to Osborne in 1972.
Right.
Osborne never won less than 9 games in his entire career. That's impressive when you're winning his 25 years as head coach and you win no less than 9 games.
Yeah.
Until, I believe, the guy who coached Tennessee not too many years ago never had a tenure so great as Osborne did in 25 years.
Right.
Then you have, I think the guy in Tennessee just surpassed it, I think, by a win. I think Osborne was 70-3 or 70-6-1, something like that. Hang on.
I don't know his actual record. And Scott Frost, I want to say, is only like a year or two older than us. He's only like early 40s.
Yeah, Osborne made 70 or 60 and 3 between 93 and 97, and that was broken.
Okay.
But Tom Osborne went 101 wins, 20 losses, and 2 ties. Oh, wait, that was Devaney, excuse me. That was Devaney. Osborne, come on, tell me where it is. 255, 49, and 3.
Okay.
83.6 win percentage. That's extremely high and is still up there it's not the number one, but he's up there in the top 5 of winningest coaches of all time.
Right.
I think Bobby Bowden is probably just a little bit higher than him because he stuck around another
how
year
long
or
did fucking
two.
Bobby Bowden coach?
Bobby Bowden was there forever. I mean, he's got a pretty,
Look at Paterno.
well, they vacated a lot of his wins for what that, and I don't think that was right. But,
right.
But literally,
on a weird note, not to get you off the subject, Al Pacino is playing Paterno in a movie, HBO movie called
that'll be good
Happy
because
Valley. Yeah.
he gets
And
into those characters.
They showed a picture of him. He looks just fucking like
Well,
Joe
did you
Paterno.
see him,
Yeah.
the one where he was Kevorkian? He looked
Yes,
just like the guy.
And I was like, when I heard about that, I was like, "Are you serious, Jack?" Or Al Pacino? And I was like, I love Pacino, but I was like, he doesn't look like Jack Kevorkian. And then when they showed him, and I was like, oh my god, he looks fucking just like him. Yeah, they showed a picture of him playing Paterno. It should be good to be on HBO.
But when you get down to it,
But
now Nebraska is this huge
I was
hole.
just pointing out the fact that Paterno had been, how long had he been?
Oh, he was
30 years,
he was long,
something like that.
He was like Osborne. He was there for a very, very long time. You know, Osborne was a coach for I think 30 years, and he spent 25 years in the head coach chair.
Right.
But when you get down to it, now you've got this hole in Nebraska. Scott Frost's name isn't going around. The guy from Arkansas that just got fired, his name's been kind of thrown around in there. Whether that's going to happen or not, I highly doubt it. Mike Leach's name has been thrown around because
I actually really liked Mike Leach.
Mike Leach,
I really did.
The reason why Mike Leach's name is being thrown around is because
Texas
Bill
Tech.
is not only that is because
No,
Bill
but
Moose,
I mean, that's where he was big.
Bill
from.
Moose hired him in Washington State when Bill Moose was the AD there.
Yep.
You know, and think about it. Eichhorst hired Riley. Eichhorst is a very unpopular person in this state because even Peterson. You got to give this to Steve Peterson. Steve Peterson, even when he talked, he still talked about Nebraska football, and he still was somewhat charismatic about it. You know, but then we found out he was an asshole.
Yeah.
So then you get Osborne back, and that's great. Well, then Osborne.
He also wasn't real bright with.
No, he wasn't.
His
I don't know why
hiring coach.
Well, he should have left Solich where he was because Solich was doing
yes,
just
he should
fine.
have left coach. I'm sorry about that. I have to say that he should have left Frank Solich.
He should have left Solich where he was.
People bitch
Solich
about
was
Frank
winning.
Solich. And the reason why people bitch about Frank Solich is because he wasn't Osborne. You got to give this fucking guy time.
Yeah, and how much? And what did Osborne do? I mean, excuse me.
Well, look at Frank Solich's last season, 9-3.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you've got to give this guy time to put his. He was
9-3 at Nebraska. He went 58-18. 58-18, and he's the only coach in the last near 20 years that won a division title. He won the Big 12 North.
This is exactly what pisses me off about our fans. I love our fans, I do, but we get into this panic over wins and losses, and we go, we got to hire this guy because we're not doing Osborne era. We're not doing Osborne era. We're not doing Osborne era. We got to get this guy. No. Give this guy time. Give this guy fucking time to get his team together. No. We got to do this. No, we don't. You know, give this fucking guy time. He was a fullback. He played for Nebraska, Frank Solich. Give him time. He played under Devaney, I believe. Yes, give him time. So, no, we got to we're going to get this big fucking NFL guy in from the Raiders, Bill Callahan. Let's put him in there. What does he do? He destroys programs. He comes up with all these fucking, remember, again, these are college kids. They don't know this West Coast offense bullshit. You're trying to install something that all these people are going, oh, Nebraska needs to stop running the football. They need to stop doing that. They need to start throwing passes. Now, people are talking about they don't run the football enough. They said that this season and last season.
And look at now. Look how he's been
You
doing.
can do it. You
Ever
can run the option very well when you have it with successful players. You can do it when you have a player that's successful and you have an offensive line to block for that fucking quarterback or that running back.
And here's the thing with
and they just kind of ignore
Frank
that.
Solich.
They get impatient. Yeah. That's what I hate about it. They get impatient. You got to give them time.
Frank Solich has his record now overall is 159-90. He's won 4 MAC East Division titles
and that's in Ohio.
That's where Ohio's at. 2006, 2009, 2011, 2016.
He's pretty old now too.
He is
70 something.
He's 73.
73. Yeah.
So I mean, he's done extremely well.
Yeah.
So, you know, here we go. Solich was one. They've really got their name, you know, up there now, you know, and I keep going on, but I mean, he's done, you know, extremely well.
Oh my!
Sorry,
Lord,
I could not help that. I don't know. But
Don't forget about me.
don't forget. Oh, I'm embarrassed now because this is going on the internet.
Yes, it is. It'd be like my dad that one time when he recorded that. Yeah. Never mind.
Never mind. But so it'll be interesting to see. I think that we'll see next week. Frost will play that game, that championship game. He can make the announcement after that game.
Right.
He cannot say anything before that.
Do you think that they're going to hire him?
You know what? It would make sense.
Yeah.
It would make sense to the point that you got to think is with the way Nebraska is, they always welcome back
I understand
their hometown.
I understand.
Think about
that
it.
part of it,
because you had Devaney, you had Osborne, you had Solich. Those all three were Nebraska guys. They were.
Why didn't they just get Scott? This is what they're going to fucking do. They wanted to just get Scott Frost 3 years ago. Just because he was already into a contract and they're...
No, because he's only been with UCF for 2 years. Okay. He was an assistant for what? He was assistant in Oregon then.
They were talking about Scott Frost before fucking Callahan. Before they hired Callahan. After Frank Solich, they were talking about Scott Frost. After Frank Solich, they were... Or not...
Scott... No.
After Frank Solich, they were talking about Scott
Frost was only out of...
I mean, they were just... It was rumored. And then...
Well, that was extremely rumored because Scott Frost was still in school in 2002. I think you're thinking of Pelini. I think you're thinking after Bo Pelini. Because Scott Frost...
No, after Callahan, they were talking about fucking Scott Frost. Callahan.
I think it was just talk then because you got to think he was really kind of untested.
But that's what I mean. And I agree with you. But that's what they were saying. They were like, oh, Scott Frost. And all these people were like, no, not Scott Frost. We don't know if he can even fucking coach. We don't even know if he can coach or not. But he was like an offensive coordinator for like the Jets or something at that time.
He went to, let's see... He was a graduate assistant.
Right now. He's 42.
Yeah, he was a graduate assistant at K-State. He went to Northern Iowa and did that. Then he went to Oregon, and he was he was with Oregon for a while, and then he went to offensive coordinator there, and then. He went in 2015. He went to University of Central Florida. He was really untested. He was a good offensive mind, and he did some good stuff for Oregon, especially under Chip Kelly. Well, so then you got to think. Then now is like he took over Kansas. Or he took over UCF, and literally in 2 years, since they went from literally a joke team to someone that's in national prominence.
But my biggest thing was, I'm like, why are we talking about fucking Scott Frost? We haven't even seen him do anything. But everybody was just like, I'm talking about then. Yeah. I'm like, why is all these people talking about that? But they wanted Nebraska players. They wanted Turner Gill, and we saw what he did at Kansas. They wanted Scott Frost, and it was just like, you guys. These guys haven't proven anything yet. We don't know if they're fucking going to be good coaches. Come on,
He's at Liberty University now, and he's 41-29 at Liberty.
Okay.
They're a FCS team, so Division I at AA. And he does pretty good there, So he's went 6-5 this year, so he'll get to go for a bowl game. Easily,
or he'll get to go smoke.
Yeah. So that is about it for the football talk there. But I really think that it's going to probably be Scott Frost. I mean, don't start calling your bookie right now if you're listening to us. But he's got to get through this next game.
My brother's got an ear to the grapevine, and I was talking to him the other day.
He's got a total ear to the track. He really probably thinks
he's like with. He goes, they all but got him fucking hired. He goes, that's all that's been talked about. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I
hadn't paid attention to much of the talk. I was just looking at, if they were going to beat Iowa or not. We obviously fucking saw what happened there.
And I don't know what happened because they were not doing too bad.
They were tied
at halftime.
When I left work.
It was 14-all.
Yes.
And, it
was halftime. Yeah. I got home, and in 6 minutes into the fucking third quarter, Iowa scored 3 more touchdowns. 6 fucking minutes. Sorry. But that was 6 minutes.
Well, here's the funny thing: did
your defense just stay in the locker room and
had a headache.
Out the fucking second half?
I had a headache, and I laid down.
It was horrible
at the halftime, like right at the beginning of halftime, and I fell asleep, and I slept throughout the whole third quarter, and I woke up, and then all of a sudden it was like 35-14 or 42-14 or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the hell?
The ending score was 56 to 14. Yeah. So it was a slaughter.
And that was the third loss in the Heroes game for Nebraska. They have not had the Heroes Trophy in 3 years.
God.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you listening to the program. We've got about 90 seconds here before the program ends.
It's the
Glad you listened to us. I don't know about you, but I got tickets to The Price is Right live.
You fucker.
On February 7th. I'm looking forward to that.
Is that with...
No, it is not with Drew Carey. The 18th person that have asked me that. I don't know who's. I think the person that's going to host it, his name is Todd Newton. He's the one that does a lot of live shows, and he was actually a candidate.
Todd the Butch.
No, he was also. Did you ever watch Family Game Night on the Hub or Discovery Kids?
I mean, I saw that.
He was the host of that, and he was actually a candidate to be one of Barb Barker's replacements when Carey got it. So Drew Carey got it. So I'm doing that. And then next Sunday, we may be on. That's kind of up in the air. Depending on how hungover we are, or we could
that's a Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving is next week. Yep. Or we could just wake up and be hungover, keep drinking, and do it in my house.
Sure.
And that'll be interesting. So for you and yours, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys are thankful for what you have, because I don't know about you, my friend, but I'm extremely thankful that we can do this every week.
I am
and
too.
And very thankful that we can do what we do to entertain and whatnot. So from all of us to all of you, we thank you for listening, the 4 people that listen to us. Including our good friend.
Excellent. We hope there to be 5. Every week we hope to gain one more.
Just one more.
And in 20 years there might be 30
there might
people.
Be 30. We also want to say our thoughts are with our good friend Matt Beatty. He's in the hospital. He was here on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And now we're over.
He
should be okay. He's got a little appendicitis problems. So we're hoping that he feels better.
And gets his appendix removed successfully.
Yep, successfully, yes. And everything else, our good friend Jeremy is doing well.
He's doing really well, yeah.
We have a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
So we thank you, and we will see you next time on the Bowl Session Podcast. This is Buck Russell.
I'm Marcus Cross.
And we'll see you next time. Good nights, pleasant tomorrow.
Peace out.
Till we meet again, my friends. Thanks.